Hello, everybody. It's Dave Neal, stand-up comic and host of Bachelor Nation News. Happy Monday, everybody. We've got some Bachelor in Paradise content. As you know, now that the season is airing on Thursday nights, we trickle into our weekends and then Mondays and Tuesdays with the he said, she said aspect of the show. As we get to see the contestants watch the show back and then they sort of find out how they're being portrayed and edited, and then they hear for the first times what other people said about them in the confessionals, and then they come back. Well, we've got a beef building up between Brayden and Kat. Kat says Brayden gas-lighted her. That's right. She says he gas-lighted her. We're going to get into the story right now. Follow me on Instagram at DNeals, patreon.com/Dave Neal for behind-the-scenes bonus content. I'll be live this morning at 10:30 a.m. You can come check me while I'm live or afterwards if you want extra content. And every afternoon, Bachelor Rush Hour, the hit podcast. I will have your Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift updates along with all other pop culture news on the afternoon podcast, Bachelor Rush Hour. So let's jump into it. Here's what Kat had to say. Did I check in with Brayden prior to the date? Yes. Did he tell me he was fine with this situation and then say other things to others? Yes. So, of course, this is in response to the fact that Kat was dating Brayden on the first episode or two of Bachelor in Paradise and then dropped him like a bad habit. That's right. She found a guy that she was more into. And Brayden was upset about that. And, you know, it does beg some questions like, well, isn't that the point of the show, which we will get into. And if you want to know my opinion on things, I like both Kat and Brayden. I think they're both cute, young, fun people. But of course, there is a jockeying for victimhood, who's scorned or who's getting a better edit when it all is said and done. And I don't think either one of them are going to win per se, but I think the majority of people are siding with Brayden, which is very telling. We'll get to some more of that in a second. So she then went on to say, did I validate his feelings? Yes. Did he gaslight me for validating his feelings? Yes. Did he have toxic responses when I tried to explain my feelings? Yes. Was that very triggering for me? Yes. Did they only show the part where I finally got frustrated as if it was the whole conversation? Yes. Are you going to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel? Yes. Okay, so first things first. Was Kat gaslighted by Brayden? The Merriam-Webster dictionary says the past tense of the verb gaslight is gaslighted. Just telling you guys that before you ask me if I'm pronouncing it right. I am. You're not. But let's move on. I'm no expert in the dictionary here. So anyway, this is a interesting story that has been emerging since before they were even broken up on camera. We had this like sort of infighting where Kat posted, you would think for someone who is obsessed with my every move would have taken some pointers on how to have some class. Then Brayden responds, your PR person told me to let you know you should take this down. Doesn't match the look you're going for. Burn. All right, so clearly the fighting hasn't ended. Here was a question someone asked. Is it really so bad to date someone just for a rose? Again, this brings back the Brendan Moraes, great unfollowing, where he was caught on camera sort of talking about the Instagram followers he was going to get. Now, how does that relate back to this? Well, because it's a game. The show is a game. How long can I remain on the beach while I wait for the person I like? And Kat might have liked Brayden when he was her only option, but as new options came about, she was like, gotta go. I don't blame her for that. I don't. I know that's going to be very troublesome for people. My belief with Kat is that she triggers people. She's very beautiful. I think she triggers a lot of people. This might trigger you with my response. I might make some enemies here. But I think that people are treating her in a different way than they might treat someone else who does a similar thing. I'd like to know your thoughts on that. Now, Brayden went from villain or quasi-villain on Charity season to pretty redeemable because now he is the victim of being stood up and moved on from and all of that, which that's how the show works, right? Now, there are some folks that didn't like Brayden that have changed their tune. I want you guys to pay close attention to this. We've got the Black Roses. The Black Roses podcast, as they say in there, about we're 5 black women who enjoy reality TV and recap the black experience each week on shows that we love. I had the honor, and I truly mean this, the honor to chat with the Black Roses on Friday night, and they just dropped both episodes of our conversation. Bachelor in Paradise Season 5, Week 3, featuring Dave Neal, and then The Golden Bachelor. Now, specifically Bachelor in Paradise Season 5, Week 3, featuring Dave Neal. In this conversation, several of the ladies discussed how they have changed their minds on Brayden. Now, I mentioned, and I don't really have a strong opinion on Kat v. Brayden because there's so much we didn't get to see. At least according to Kat here, we didn't get to see him manipulating her and all these types of things. But what we do get to see is the difference between a villain and a hero is so thinly, sliced, depending on what happens in that circumstance. So in this circumstance, it looks like Brayden was unjustly ditched. Everyone's been ditched before. It sucks. So it's easy to go, oh, you know what, Brayden, he seems to be well liked. Now, don't forget this. As I discuss in the Black Roses episode, which I really encourage you guys to go listen to, link in the comment section. If you have Spotify, go check it out there. First, hit the like button, hit the little star, whatever, review. Show their audience how loyal you guys are. I really would appreciate it if you go and support their content. Now, I made the defense that Brayden clearly can't be much of a villain because everyone on the beach seems to love him, almost in a way that everyone rallied around Rodney. A little bit different, but it seems so. We watched the last scene where he's doing his freestyle rap and everyone's kumbaya around Brayden. Likewise, or I should say counter to that, we've got Kat, who had Kylie and Jess sort of calling her out, saying, Kat, this is what you do. So could there be a scenario in which the way Kat is portrayed is different than her true intentions and she's coming off a certain way? She had that moment where she goes, I'm not upset by this at all, or am I? Like, she was kind of questioning how she feels about all of this, which is totally fine. I think what we have with Kat v. Brayden is just a case of not necessarily knowing how you feel because you're being thrown new circumstances every day. New circumstances being Kat and Brayden were fine until some controversy hit and then Kat left him for someone else. Well, this isn't real life where you're dating someone and then you make eyes with someone at a coffee shop and you leave your partner for someone else. Every episode, new bodies hit the beach and they have chances to upgrade and move on. How will this affect Kat moving forward when she's not in the hot seat with the rose? That's what we're going to have to see play out. I have some other content, because, look, whenever someone feels wrongfully scorned, that's okay on Paradise. But, and I like Brayden a lot, but we do need to realize that it's a very childhood thing that happens when you realize you can get sympathy from others and when you realize something is unjust and you're the victim of a scenario. And again, be careful here because I don't want to relay this to actual victims of crimes or more serious allegations, right? We're talking about very surface level stuff here. But if you jockey to play the victim, that is different than being the victim. And by that I mean, is Brayden doing some performance arts with how upset he really is? I don't believe so consciously. I believe Brayden really does feel as upset as he is, but I also think Brayden's someone like me who can fall for someone really fast. And Kat moved on really fast, and that has really upset Brayden. Will Brayden move on? Absolutely. That's how it works. I would love to know what you guys think. And don't forget the Black Roses for additional content. I mean, we went long. We talked about a lot of different things. I actually told them, I don't think I have broken down a specific aspect of Paradise ever as much as we did on this episode. I really think you're going to love what they have to say. I believe the Black Roses began during Clubhouse during the pandemic and created and realized they had kind of such a good sort of vibe happening over there that it became a podcast. But of course, their voices, I mean, I feel like everyone had a different opinion on the matter, which I think will make it really interesting to listen to. Let me know what you guys think. Now, a different story, and we also covered Golden Bachelor, but a different story here I'm going to cover right now is Teresa from Golden Bachelor. Now, are you guys watching this? You have to, right? So Teresa, nice, very smiley lady, was called out by Kathy, a little bit more of a cynic. Kathy definitely has a more negative energy, and Kathy basically accused Teresa of pulling a Brayden. If you remember Brayden from Charity season, he was so giddy, I got the kiss, I got that, and everyone was mad at him because he was almost rubbing it in their faces how good his relationship was going. Whereas if it wasn't everyone competing for the same person, you'd just be happy for your friend. Oh, you're in love. Oh, you're giddy. Oh, I'm happy for you. But because you're fighting for the same person, that's not the case. Well, Kathy did that towards Teresa, where she said, oh, you're rubbing it in everyone's faces, to the point where Teresa, a very likable person, was like, oh, no, Kathy, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. No. And Teresa's like, and then Kathy kept on hammering her down. And I wanted to pull the ref card and say, hold on a second, Kathy. What do you think Teresa's doing? What did she say to make you feel that way? Because it was pretty much made up. So here's Teresa's response. The innocent victim of Kathy's anger. Teresa said, the past episode was a bit hard for me to watch. Never in a million years did I think that I was going to find myself involved in drama. And what's so sweet is hearing this from someone in their 60s and 70s, someone who grew up before social media, and then all of a sudden they're involved in this petty drama that exists online, and it's like, welcome to the Bachelor franchise. But if this was my grandmother, my heart would melt. I'd be like, Grandma, no, please, don't take any of this seriously. It's all theater arts. She said, that is so not who I am. I just thought that I was able to be open and honest with a new friend about how I was feeling. As you saw, I acknowledged that everyone felt a connection to Gary, and I welcomed that. We were all on a journey to see who was the best fit for Gary. Gary said to me, if you in your heart don't believe that you are boastful, you don't believe that you are doing anything to hurt someone, then I think you should let it go. I never ever intended to make Kathy or anyone feel less than. As Edith said, it's the tension that we're dating just one man, of course. Oh, we love Edith and all of these nice sort of mature names that we have here. How far have we come from Edith to Kat? I appreciate the kind messages so much. I am grateful to all of you that could see that I had only good intentions and that I felt absolutely terrible when I realized I had hurt Kathy's feelings. And sadly, I think that Teresa is the type of person that someone like Kathy can take advantage of because they're being kind and apologizing because they don't want any drama. Well, we'll have to see if Teresa and Kathy make their way to paradise one season. Wouldn't that be nice if they brought some golden bachelors? By the way, this would have been such good synergy if they brought some golden bachelors or Bachelor cast members to paradise, not to compete with everybody, but just to share some nice golden wisdom, if you will. All right, well, I've asked the question, do you believe Brayden gaslighted Kat? Now, of course, we know the term gaslighted has been misused and misappropriated and all of that. So my quick answer is no, not at all. I don't think so. But I do believe Kat is trying her best. What do you think? Leave a comment, and we'll be on Patreon right after this, patreon.com/Dave Neal.